all about a tool called QRMapper.
Right.
And our mission really is to figure out how something so, well, familiar, like a QR code, can be turned from just a static link into something dynamic, something more powerful.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Taking that little printed square, on paper or packaging and making it a live connection, one that can change, one that can actually tell you who's using it.
Exactly.
It zeroes in on a key challenge, doesn't it? That friction point where physical stuff meets the ever-changing digital world.
Let's unpack that. What's the basic issue they see with the QR codes we all kind of know, the standard ones?
Well, the big problem is they're static. Inertia, really. Once you print a traditional QR code, that link is baked in.
Right.
It's fixed. And in today's world, things change so fast online. URLs shift, promotions end, content gets updated.
Constantly.
Exactly. And that static nature becomes a real bottleneck. If you need to change where that code points, you have to reprint everything, throw out the old stuff.
Which is just, incredibly weird. Imagine printing thousands of flyers, maybe product labels, and then, oops, the website address changes. You're just stuck.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that's the jump-off point for QRMapper. They position themselves as the fix, the thing that makes QR codes dynamic, updatable, trackable, after they're already out there in the world.
So the physical code stays the same, but the digital destination behind it that can be managed, changed remotely.
That's the idea, giving print this digital flexibility it just never had.
Okay, that really sounds like the core value right there. Digital agility for print.
Head-on is the ability to update where your QR codes point anytime.
So, simple example. I print the code, stick it on my product. A month later, maybe I want it to go to a different landing page. I just log into their system and change the URL.
Exactly that. You don't touch the printed code at all. And this is huge, right? Because it means your printed assets aren't instantly outdated if the link changes. The source gives a great practical example. Printing event flyers really early. Before you've even finalized the schedule or the speaker page is live.
Oh.
You print the flyer with the QR code, and then you just assign or update that link closer to the actual event date.
That takes away so much stress and potential waste, potential costs. You can get the physical stuff printed and distributed much earlier. So that's basic flexibility.
Smart redirects. This isn't just changing a link whenever you feel like it. This is scheduling changes in advance.
Scheduling. Like setting up a calendar for your QR code. So it points here this week and then automatically switches to point somewhere else next week.
Precisely. You can literally map out a sequence of destinations over time. The source uses a product launch as an example.
Okay.
Maybe the QR code points to a teaser page before the launch. Then on launch day, it automatically switches to the main product page. And maybe a week later, it goes to a thank you page or a support section. All using the exact same QR code that was printed just once.
Okay, that's incredibly powerful for any kind of phased campaign.
Yeah.
I can see that being useful for, say, limited time offers, maybe seasonal promotions, even in education, like classroom materials, where the relevant online resource changes week by week.
Right. They mention event materials, product campaigns, limited offers, classroom handouts, lots of applications.
Is that different?
This lets you actually generate the QR code image itself, put it in your design file, send it off to the printer, before you even know the final destination URL. You create the code as a placeholder, basically, and then someone assigns the actual link later on.
Okay, hang on. So if I'm a designer, say, working on packaging, tight print deadline, I don't have to wait for the marketing folks or the web team to give me the final landing page URL.
Nope.
I can just drop the QR code graphic in, get it printed, and they can connect the dots later through the QRMapper platform.
Exactly. It's out for creatives under pressure, marketing teams whose assets are still evolving, or even early stage product rollouts where the website isn't quite finished yet. It decouples the physical print cycle from the digital content finalization. Big help.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so we've got flexibility in where it goes, when it goes there, even creating it before you know where it's going.
And that's where branded, beautiful QR codes comes in. The source really emphasizes getting full control over the styling.
Meaning moving beyond just black and white.
Absolutely. You can upload your own logo to sit right in the middle of the code. You can change the shape of the little dots or squares. You can pick custom colors, your brand colors.
Okay.
The whole point is making the QR code look like it belongs in your design, not like some technical thing just slapped on. Imagine it on nice packaging or a well-designed business card. You want visual consistency.
That makes a ton of sense. A generic code can really clash with a strong brand identity. Making it branded probably helps with trust too, right? Looks more professional, less random.
This feels like a really big deal for physical media.
Yeah, tell me about that, because normally print is kind of a black box, right?
Totally. But this aims to change that. Turns that printed item from just, sitting there into a measurable interaction point. Every single scan generates data.
What kind of data? Are we just talking a simple scan count?
More than that. The source says you get total scans over time, obviously, but also breakdowns by device type, though it notes most scans are mobile, unsurprisingly. You get geolocation data, so you can see roughly where people are scanning from.
Wow, location too.
And importantly, the ratio of unique versus repeat visitors scanning the code.
So you can start to understand not just that people scanned, but a bit about who unique or returning where they were, maybe what device they used.
Exactly. This isn't just interesting trivia. This data lets you make actual decisions based on how people interact with your physical stuff.
How so?
Well, you might refine the content on the landing page if you see people aren't sticking around. You can optimize where you place your materials if you see scans are high in one location but low in another. You could even tweak the call to action on the print piece itself if engagement isn't what you hoped. It's like bringing web analytics thinking to your brochures or posters.
That really is a game changer.
Yeah.
For years, measuring the ROI on print has been so fuzzy, mostly anecdotal stuff. This seems to offer concrete data points.
This takes it beyond just simple redirection. It adds a layer of professional-grade features you might expect from digital link shorteners, but applied to the QR code link.
Like what specifically?
Things like protecting the destination URL with a password.
A password on a QR code.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or setting a limit on the total number of scans allowed for a specific code. Or setting an expiration date after which the code just stops working.
Scan limits and expiration dates. That's pretty granular control. Didn't even think about that for QR codes.
You can even apparently restrict access based on domain, though that seems less common for print. And of course, you can just disable a link entirely if you need to pull it offline quickly.
Okay, I can see the use cases there. Mentions things like internal comms, maybe sharing sensitive docs only within the company.
Exactly. Or exclusive offers where you only want the first, say, 100 people to claim it via the scan. Or maybe distributing compliance documents where you need that control over access and lifespan. It adds that digital security layer to a physical object.
Very specific, but yeah, sounds incredibly valuable for certain situations. Built to scale with you. What does that mean for the service?
It suggests the platform isn't just for one person managing a couple of codes. It's designed to work whether you're a small business owner or, a big marketing department in a corporation running tons of campaigns globally.
How does it support that kind of scale? What features did they mention?
Well, they talk about collaboration, having multiple team members work within the same account. They mentioned being able to export all that scan data we talked about, probably for analysis and other tools.
Mm-hmm.
And the big one for larger organizations or technical users. API access.
The API. Right. That opens up a lot. That means you could potentially automate QR code creation, integrate the management into your own CRM or marketing software, build custom workflows around it.
Absolutely. That definitely screams scalability. It shifts it from just being a standalone tool to potentially being a piece of your larger marketing tech stack.
It really is fascinating how they've layered so much functionality onto what seems like a simple concept. Back this up.
Yeah, pretty consistently. The themes you see in the user comments echo these benefits. People talk about how easy it is to integrate this into their campaigns, how much time and money they save, not reprinting things like lesson plans or menus every time a link changes.
Right.
They highlight the value of getting that real-time data to make quicker decisions. And some mention the power of the API for bigger, more complex applications. They mention having different plans. There's a free plan, which is good for basic use cases, probably limited features. Differences are things like how many active dynamic codes you can manage, how much branding customization you get, the depth of the analytics, how many team members can use the account, and whether you get that API access.
Okay.
And they also mention a 14-day free trial for the paid plans, which is pretty standard, but helpful if you want to test drive the advanced stuff before paying.
And what about just general ease of use? Any hurdles?
The FAQ section seems designed to reassure on that front. It mentions things like you can cancel anytime, the dashboards are customizable, confirms APIs on higher tiers. And this is interesting. They claim setup takes less than 5 minutes.
Less than 5 minutes. That's quick.
Yeah. And they also mention using top-tier encryption for security, which is obviously important. All points aimed at making it seem easy and trustworthy to jump in.
So let's bring this back to you, the listener. You've got the physical things you create or use. Flyers, brochures, Business cards, definitely. Maybe internal posters, product packaging, handouts for classes or events. What would it actually mean for you if you could change the link on those after they're printed?
Or what if you could see how many people actually scanned that specific poster you put up in the store window? Or which city responded best to your mailer?
It really does change how you think about that printed item, doesn't it? It stops being just a static piece of information and becomes more like an active, measurable gateway.
Yeah.
Connects the physical to your digital presence.
Yeah, a gateway that you can update and learn from.
Exactly. That's the big takeaway here. It feels like this kind of tech, like QRMapper, is aiming to make print not just related to a digital strategy, but a truly integrated dynamic part of it, or that can adapt and feed data back into the system.
It gives physical media a kind of digital pulse, a longer, more flexible lifespan than it ever had before. It really does bridge that offline-online gap in a much smarter way.
That's a really good way to put it, digital pulse. If you can constantly update what a physical link does, and you get real-time data back from it, how might that fundamentally change the way we design, budget for, and measure the success of any printed material?
Could print become way more agile, way more data-driven than we ever thought possible? Maybe even influencing print runs or content choices mid-campaign based on scan data?
Something to think about. Could change.